Only on CBS42 News, shocking new developments in the murder of a local couple. What investigators believe led to the shooting.
Then, getting illegal guns and drugs off local streets. The constant fight for one local sheriff's department.
Also, the movement to bring an Amazon fulfillment center to one local city is another step closer to reality.
Plus, new crash tests on two popular SUVs reveal serious safety concerns.
Live with local coverage you can count on. This is CBS 42 News at 5.
We begin with breaking news in Jefferson County. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sherry Jackson.
And I'm Jack Royer. Thanks for joining us tonight as we follow a house fire in the Minor community this evening at 5 tonight. This is a look at the scene from moments ago. We're told two houses on Iceland Avenue caught fire. Birmingham fire and rescue crews were called in for backup, but thankfully no one was hurt.
They was great together, you know. I never saw them argue or fight. They was always smiling.
Only on CBS 42, the family of Hope Trapp is speaking out for the first time. Trapp and her fiance, Logan Lambert, were killed Saturday. The St. Clair County Sheriff's Office tells us the two were gunned down at a walking track in Cook Springs.
And now 41-year-old Kevin McCrory is charged with their murders tonight. CBS 42 News reporter Cameron Edgeworth live in St. Clair County this evening, where some community members are still in shock. Cameron.
Jack, that's right. And I spoke with Billy Howard, who Hope called mom. And Howard says she wants to honor Hope Trapp's memory because she says she never deserved for this to happen.
She liked to walk through the woods. We had a go-kart. She liked to ride on it. She tore them woods up out there on that go-kart.
Billy Howard is remembering her adoptive daughter, Hope Trapp, who was shot and killed Saturday afternoon alongside her fiance, Logan Lambert. Howard says it's still very hard to talk about. She says Trapp and Lambert had only been engaged for 3 weeks.
She came through that door. Hey, Mama, look, I'm engaged. And she was so pleased of that little ring.
Howard says the two were in love and perfect for each other. She says Hope was outgoing and loved the outdoors. Howard says she doesn't understand why this happened.
We're missing her.
The St. Clair County Sheriff's Office arrested 41-year-old Kevin McCrory in connection to the crime. He's facing 2 counts of capital murder. Investigators say the shooting stemmed after an altercation between McCrory and the 2 victims. Investigators have not released any details about that altercation. Now, Howard says the family is planning a memorial service for Hope within the next couple of weeks. For now, reporting live here in Cook Springs, Cameron Edgeworth, CBS 42 News, local coverage you can count on.
Cameron, thank you. Right now at 5, the arrest and prosecution of drug dealers is becoming a major focus for President Trump's administration.
Yeah, and here locally, we've seen law enforcement agencies pursue that agenda aggressively. CBS 42 News reporter James McConaughey is live in Shelby County with what the Drug Task Force agents there are doing to fight this war on drugs.
Well, Sherry, the Shelby County Drug Task Force targets the upper levels of drug distribution, but they tell me the key to long-term success is actually getting users the help they need. Lieutenant Clay Hammock with the Shelby County Drug Task Force says the mindset about recreational drug use in America is troubling because he says drug use and addiction have real consequences in the form of property crime, violent crime, and death. His task force targets dealers in cooperation with the U.S. Attorney's Office, but they also work to educate young people and connect drug users with community resources that can help them.
The only way that we are going to put these drug dealers out of business is cutting off the demand. And the way that we cut off the demand is we dry up that pool of people who are struggling with addiction and abuse. If they have no one to sell their product to, then they're probably going to have to go elsewhere.
Just yesterday, Jefferson County Sheriff Mike Hale announced arrests that resulted in the seizure of a large amount of drugs, money, and guns. Officials say the drug problem has reached epidemic proportions. Now, the Shelby County Drug Task Force shares information and collects tips through a website. Compact 2020 will have a link to that for you in this story on the CBS 42 News app. Live in Shelby County, James McConaughey, CBS 42 News, local coverage you can count on.
James, thank you. Covering Jefferson County, mayors from Hoover, Vestavia Hills, Homewood, and Mountain Brook are joining forces to fight the war on drugs. Today, they hosted the second Freedom from Addiction Coalition breakfast. They addressed the community's concerns about drug addiction and opioid abuse and what to do in a dangerous situation.
So what we've done is through the Recovery Resource Center, they're doing Narcan training people how to administer Narcan, and then they're actually giving people doses.
Today marked the second breakfast and training session for the Freedom from Addiction Coalition. Their next event will be held in Homewood. That's in September.
A lot of people heading home right now. This is a live look from our BJCC camera over downtown Birmingham and a view of 2059 there with some rain moving into our area tonight. I'm here now with CBS 42 Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Ashley Gann, tracking a lot of rain this evening.
Yeah, that's right. And some rumbles of thunder in West Alabama. We just saw our BJCC tower cam. Now a look at Birmingham. And you're seeing sunshine in the Magic City. And can you believe it? But just a county over, dealing with heavy rainfall, lots of lightning. Right now, temperatures in Birmingham sitting in the upper 80s. It's a steamy afternoon across all of central Alabama, but some are being faced with quite a few thunderstorms, stretching all the way from Double Springs down to Jasper into the Mercedes plant, and then on the way into Bibb County. So zooming into the Birmingham metro, things pretty quiet, but if you look in the western sky, you're really going to see that sky darkening as these storms are moving in. Right now, we'll focus our attention on this storm in Walker County. This storm is tracking off to the south and to the east, pretty much right along that Interstate 22 corridor. It should be in Jasper as we speak, and then on to Mount Hope, and then Cordova in about 10 minutes with Flat Creek in less than 20. So again, if you're along that I-20 corridor, keep an eye to the sky. Heavy rainfall near the Mercedes plant right now, but if you'll notice Tuscaloosa, things have cleared out for you, but there's the rain off in the distance along Interstate 20. I'll have a breakdown of what you can expect through the rest of the evening. That's coming up in your Storm Team 7-day forecast.
Ashley, thank you. The city of Bessemer is one step closer to having a distribution center for a major online retailer and thousands of jobs that come with it. The city approved a new incentives package today to much fanfare.
That's right. And CBS 42 News reporter Robert Sherman is live tonight in Bessemer after digging into that new package that could literally change the landscape. Robert?
Well, Jack, years ago, an Amazon fulfillment center in Bessemer sounded like fantasy, but today we're on the doorstep of reality. Earlier today, the Bessemer City Council, in a unanimous 7-0 decision, voted in favor of the incentives package meant to bring an Amazon distribution center to Bessemer. In the package, the city of Bessemer is willing to rebate Amazon up to 65% of the occupational tax Amazon pays on an annual basis. We also learned today that Amazon could be breaking ground sooner rather than later.
We do have a couple of things to work out still. We've got a couple of things to iron out with the state. Real estate closing has to take place. But if things go as we hope they will, we do anticipate that construction site prep will begin before the end of this month is out.
Now, as Lee said, there are still a couple of hurdles to get past on the legal end, but from everyone we've talked to today, nobody seems to have any concerns about this deal falling through, and most are chalking this up already as a done deal. Now, if Amazon and Bessemer do get past these legal hurdles, we could be expecting to see ground broken at the end of this month. The distribution center could be potentially completed in July, and 1 year from today, the employment and hiring process could begin. Now, we talked to a couple of residents of Bessemer as to what exactly this fulfillment center would mean to them, and we'll have that for you tonight at 6 o'clock. In Bessemer, Robert Sherman, CBS 42 News, local coverage you can count on.
Thank you, Robert. New at 5, Birmingham city leaders are working to make our schools safer.
Today, the city council approved a new plan to use the rest of the school system's $3.6 million budget for that purpose. The money will be used to purchase more metal detectors, wands, and door alarms. It will also be used to hire more security officers.
CBS 42 is your local election headquarters. 1 week after the primary elections, we are learning today that there will be a runoff in the Walker County Sheriff's race. Incumbent Sheriff Jim Underwood and Cordova Police Chief Nick Smith went head-to-head last Tuesday, and the race was just too close to call. Now the two will face off in a runoff election. That will be on July 17th.
New at 5 in West Alabama tonight, Northport police are investigating several burglaries in the downtown area. We're told over the past 10 days, at least 9 businesses have been broken into. Sunday night, thieves smashed through the front door of the local Roots food truck business, stealing $700 from the cash register.
They cut my cash drawer out. They ripped my cameras out. And then I'm getting news each day that, hey, they hit me, different businesses saying they've had this same experience. So it's just frustrating. We work hard and try to keep the food truck running, and to get shut down for a day because somebody wants some cash or wants to steal something is frustrating.
Police are hoping to use surveillance video to help catch those crooks. Tonight, Tuscaloosa police are searching for possible suspects in a shooting, but now they've also arrested the victim. 30-year-old Antoine Williams is charged with possession of a controlled substance. Police tell us he was shot twice in the shoulder last night. The shooting happened Monday around 11. Police believe Williams was trying to collect money owed to him at an apartment in Hay Court when another man walked up and shot into his car with a rifle. Police are still searching for that shooter tonight.
Right now, President Trump is on his way home from Singapore. That's where he agreed to a deal with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to begin the process of denuclearizing the Korean peninsula.
We also agreed to vigorous negotiations to implement the agreement as soon as possible. And he wants to do that.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are cautiously hopeful.
It's just the beginning. Yeah, it's kind of an agreement to continue talking, and which I said earlier, as long as you're talking, you're not fighting, and that's a good thing.
It's a welcome improvement to see the two of them having a dialogue rather than engaging in name-calling and saber-rattling.
This is not the first time North Korea has agreed to end its weapons programs, as some on Capitol Hill were quick to point out.
Previous presidents, both Republican and Democrat, have gotten exactly the same thing, a commitment for denuclearization without having to give up the prestige of the United States on the world stage and stand side by side with one of the worst dictators, worst human rights violators in the world.
But one thing lawmakers on both sides of the aisle agree on is the president is now responsible for the outcome of the agreement.
He has put his entire presidency on the line here. So if he capitulates, if North Korea backs out of a deal, if they cheat and he does nothing about it, that's going to be the end of his foreign policy.
And some are leery of the U.S. working with Kim Jong-un.
Working with him is like trying to hand feed a shark. You can do it, but you have to do it very, very carefully.
The outcome for now is both the U.S. and North Korea say they will continue their dialogue. North Korea also agreed to return the remains of American service members who were lost in North Korea during the Korean War. Stay with CBS 42 and the CBS Evening News for much more reaction to the U.S.-North Korea summit. Jeff Glor will anchor live from Singapore right after this newscast.
The U.S. Space and Rocket Center is launching a new project to preserve iconic pieces of America's space program. Those details are straight ahead. Plus, new crash test revealing how safe passengers are riding in some of the most popular SUVs on the road. The results also coming up.
President Trump has promised that drug prices are about to drop. I'm Mark Meredith in Washington. I'll tell you why some lawmakers say there's no chance that's going to happen anytime soon.
Then coming up all new at 6, police are searching for suspects involved in an alleged dogfighting case. Hear from the dog's owner at 6 with more local coverage you can count on next. We're back tonight as the Trump administration now urging Congress to do more to lower prescription drug costs.
They say they are already doing what they can to lower the prices, but critics say the administration is all talk. CBS 42 White House correspondent Mark Meredith is in Washington with that story.
Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar told a Senate committee it's no secret drug prices are only going up.
Everybody wins when list prices rise, except for the patient.
But Azar says prices can drop under the Trump administration's drug plan. It calls for the FDA to speed up drug trials, allow for more generic drugs into the market, and require drug makers to be more transparent with pricing. Democrats say the plan falls short because it doesn't let the government negotiate Medicare's drug prices.
Families cannot afford for us to keep waiting for a real plan, which is why Democrats are going to keep fighting for common sense solutions that would actually make a difference.
In May, President Trump surprised many when he said drug costs were about to drop. The president said pharmaceutical companies were going to lower their prices voluntarily.
The big drug companies in 2 weeks, and they're going to announce, because of what we did, they're going to announce voluntary, massive drops in prices.
But Senator Elizabeth Warren says after checking with America's 10 largest drug companies,
0 out of 10
said that they had lowered any prices. 0 out of 10 gave any indication that they planned to do so.
Azar insists prices will go down eventually. In Washington, I'm Mark Meredith, CBS 42 News, local coverage you can count on.
Tonight, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety crash tests on 2 popular SUVs revealing serious concerns. The IIHS gave the 2018 Ford Explorer and Jeep Grand Cherokee poor ratings in front passenger crash tests. Those tests show protections built into the driver's side aren't necessarily there for front seat passengers. Ford, however, insists the Explorer is safe, saying they continually make improvements to vehicles to help customers stay safe on the roadways. Only 3 of 8 SUVs earned the top score of good.
My advice to people who are shopping for a new vehicle is that they've got better choices.
Both the Explorer and Grand Cherokee are older designs. Ford and Jeep expect better ratings when new designs are released soon. The 2019 Kia Sorento did score good after it was redesigned to better protect front passengers. It's the only SUV of the 8 tested to earn the IIHS highest overall rating, Top Safety Pick Plus.
New at 5, the iconic rockets at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville are about to undergo a $20 million restoration project. The rockets in Rocket Park will be removed and remounted onto structural supports. The Saturn V rocket will also be repainted. All of this, of course, in anticipation of the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 lunar landing. The Space and Rocket Center is planning a big celebration for that in July of 2019. Of course, our own resident scientist here, meteorologist.
That's right. You get all the things in one package. Rocket scientist,
That's right.
weather lady, everything.
And I have to say, it's such an honor. In about a month from this week, I get to be the MC for their big Space Camp alumni event, because it was Space Camp where my love for weather began.
I love that story. That's fantastic.
Bringing it full circle.
And we're that time of the year now where you know what time of the year it is. There's rain, there's heat, humidity, everything.
Yeah, kind of that dry start and then afternoon showers and storms. That's what we're tracking today. I want to show you this live look from our Anniston Tower cam right now. Beautiful view in East Alabama. Temperatures in Anniston right now sitting at 80 degrees. And the reason for a little drop in temperatures is they had a quick passing rain shower, and it kind of brought down those temperatures just a bit. You can see some of those East Alabama showers. But the bigger story, the thunderstorms in West Alabama, and these are moving right towards the Birmingham metro, anywhere from Calera, Alabaster up to Birmingham, on their way up to Coleman right now. So Double Spring seeing some lightning and lots of rainfall. Same with Jasper down towards Abernat into West Blockton. So let's start out in Walker County, where we're going to be tracking these storms. These are actually moving off to the south and to the east. Here's some cities that will be impacted. Cordova, your time now less than about 5 minutes. Union Chapel within that 5-minute window. And then Dora in about 15 minutes. Summiton less than 20 minutes. So anywhere along Interstate 22 from Jasper to Birmingham, get ready for the rainfall. As we slide southbound just a bit along the Tuscaloosa-Jefferson County line, we're tracking these storms. These popped up later this afternoon, but these are going to be tracking off to the east. And here's what the sky looks like right now in Tuscaloosa. Here's a kind of an interesting vantage point. So our camera is in Tuscaloosa. We're looking towards the east, and so this is going to be near the Mercedes plant. But notice how much sunshine is beaming down in the city of Tuscaloosa right now, but the sky is very ominous. We're actually looking at that rain off in the distance as the thunderstorm is now moving out of the city of Tuscaloosa towards the Mercedes plant, going to continue its way on to McCalla and then into western parts of Jefferson County. Now moving from West Alabama to East Alabama, this is what the sky looks like in Gadsden. Downtown Gadsden not seeing the rainfall, but just off in the distance you can faintly see a bit of the horizon, and that's because that rain is falling off in the distance. So we're kind of tracking that on our Storm Team Tower Cam. Here's where that rain sits on our radar. A little rumble of thunder in Piedmont and some heavier rainfall just to the east of Gadsden. So again, we're going to be tracking the skies closely tonight because these scattered showers and storms across most of central Alabama. Here's how it's impacting temperatures right now. Feeling the heat in Jasper near 90, 87 in Birmingham, but drop to 80 in Anniston because of those passing showers. More scattered storms on tap tomorrow. This unsettled weather pattern continues, unfortunately, through the weekend, and it looks like those afternoon highs will be at around 90. So heat, humidity, and some afternoon storms. Prepare for it as we move into the weekend. And that's a look at your Storm Team 7-day forecast.
Ashley, thanks. Right now, you're looking live at Shades Creek in Birmingham as members of the Cahaba River Society and Alabama Outdoors are preparing to conduct a waterway cleanup off Shannon-Oxmoor Road. They'll be out there till 7 o'clock tonight. As we here at CBS42 are also giving back to the community this week.
Yeah, doing a little cleanup. Friday is our annual Founders Day of Caring. We'll be volunteering our time at several local organizations. One of them is Life South, a community blood center. The blood collected from donors goes directly to our local hospitals. And right now, they do have an emergency need for all blood types. Life South, one of the 4 local organizations and members of the CBS42 team will be helping out on Founders Day. Here are the others: the Greater Birmingham Humane Society, the Alabama Environmental Council, and an organization called Be a Blessing Birmingham. It's exactly what they do. You can learn more about Founders Day of Caring and how we contributed to the community last year by going to the CBS42 News app. And you love all of the smiles that come with that.
Absolutely. Hard to believe it's been a year since Founders Day last year, but we're looking forward to doing what we can in the community.
Helping even more. Auburn baseball lost a heartbreaker in the Super Regionals last night.
And now they're headed back home with that loss.
Coming up next in sports, see the reception Auburn got from their fans when they returned to the Plains.
Right field, Langworthy, deep.
Can you think of a worse way to lose out on the College World Series? And you got to feel awful for Auburn's right fielder, Steven Williams. Florida's moving on. Auburn's going home after the Gators had a walk-off homer. It was the 11th inning late last night, but instead of feeling sorry for themselves, Auburn is realizing just how special 2018 was. And the fans are too. Hundreds of them showed up this afternoon. They're greeting the team as they arrive back home, and Auburn picked to finish second to last in the SEC West. Instead, they were one big play away from the College World Series. Just for context, that's a place they have not been since 1997.
Yeah, I told them I love them for the rest of their life. And they're part of me, part of my family forever. That I believe that this program, this 2018 version at Auburn, has left an unbelievable legacy.
A lot of faces there to greet the team, including Gus Malzahn, giving a congrats to Casey Mize there. He just went #1 overall in the draft. Well, the party's still going strong 4 days later in Oakland, California. Today, the Golden State Warriors held their NBA championship parade, their 3rd title in 4 years, all of them over the Cleveland Cavaliers. This one was a clean sweep. Time for a break. We'll be right back.
You're watching CBS 42, local coverage you can count on. This is CBS 42 News at 5.
All right, I'm tracking some thunderstorms moving through West Alabama and a few rumbles of thunder even from Gadsden down towards Jacksonville. We'll continue tracking it throughout the night right here on CBS 42.
The hallmark of summer, in my opinion. Just
Absolutely.
Those pop-ups all the time randomly.
As long as they pop down.
Yeah.
That's our report. We hope you'll join us for the CBS 42 News tonight at 6. Until then, you can get your local news on our CBS 42 News app.